Get your ears wrapped around the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast. All the scoop you need to know, from college basketball to the NBA and even March Madness. News of your rising stars, topics on and off the hardwood. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. I am your host, Jeff Malinoff, and with me is my point guard, Mark Souza. We got stuff to talk about here when it comes to basketball. We're going to talk a little bit about James Harden's, questionable travel call.
Is he on vacation?
I see what you did there. Classic. We also going to talk about some of the NBA games that have happened recently, as well as some trades that actually have happened. So we're going to get right into the NBA roundup, I believe. Is that correct? That's on tap for today. We'll start with probably the most interesting matchup. We got the Grizzlies and Warriors playing yesterday, and the Warriors come up with the win, 110-93. The Grizzlies are kind of backing up right now as of late. They've been on kind of a losing streak. They haven't been playing well. They were fighting for a top spot in the West. Now they're barely hanging on the bottom of the West, but for this circumstance, they are not out of it as of yet because everyone's so close in the West. But they have lost 3 straight. Is this a concern?
Yeah, but Conley's injured, so you kind of have to take it for what it is. They just played the Warriors, so we'll see. With this Western Conference, we're going to see a lot of these teams have their ups and downs. There will be a lot of movement, and I think we talked about it earlier, but it's going to be interesting to see how many days that there will be this season where teams aren't shuffling in the standings in the Western Conference. Since it's so tight, it's almost like every day there will be 1 or 2 teams moving up or down in the Western Conference. So, yeah, they're on a 3-game losing streak. Would I be concerned? Not really. Maybe if this goes over like a 10-game period or something like that, you'd worry. But no, I think that they're fine as of right now.
Okay, cool. Well, the Warriors are doing Warrior things, totally, and we expected this. They kind of started off a little sloppy, but they're still a half a game behind the first place Nuggets, who are playing the best basketball right now, without question. But do you think this is all like fool's gold? How everyone else is playing so well? Do you think it's gonna be the Warriors again in the finals, or do you see this as a potential
Warriors?
Yeah,
they're in the finals unless they suffer an injury.
That's unfortunate, isn't it? Well, maybe not unfortunate, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Warriors will be in the finals unless something drastic happens to their roster.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
We haven't even seen them play with DeMarcus Cousins yet.
Mm-hmm.
What if he just adds something to that team? Then are they even beatable at all? You know, like, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, they've shown some more, I guess, moments this season so far of being human, I would say. Plus, they had some injuries. But at the end of the day, what team is matching up with them and beating them 4 times in a 7-game series?
Yeah, that is true, because this team still looks borderline unstoppable, doesn't it?
Definitely.
What's the how do I say this? Do you think overall that teams are? Do you think any team is able to upset them in a 7-game series?
I don't think so. I really don't. Nope.
Yeah.
I would say no. Maybe Toronto, but not any team in the West.
I agree with you that that's the how it's going to be.
What about that Bulls Thunder game last night? Something interesting happened there.
Yes, a fight broke out. A very interesting fight between Chris Dunn and, well, he kind of pushed Russell Westbrook, and then who was it got in his face?
Jeremy Grant
got in his face, that's right.
And then Robin Lopez came in.
And Robin Lopez, he shoved his head into his face. That's basically, it wasn't a headbutt. Like, I consider headbutt being wheel back and then go after him. He just kind of got in his face and pushed his head at his head. That's kind of the best I would describe it as.
He pushed his head into his head.
How else are you going to describe? I'm not going to describe it as headbutting.
I mean, when you butt your head into somebody, I don't know.
I don't know how else to explain it.
He didn't cock back and
yeah, he did not full on headbutt him as hard as he could. Like, that could have been a lot worse. And then the crowd, and then he got into the courtside seat fans, and Robin Lopez was on someone's lap uncomfortably, which was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, that's what the fans paid for.
They paid to get Robin Lopez on their lap.
When you sit courtside and you pay all that money for those good seats, you want something fun to happen, right? What's more fun than an NBA player fight happening right on your lap?
Yeah.
The Thunder dismantled the Bulls, though. The Bulls fall to 7-24. Are they a team that can challenge the Warriors? That is a question.
It's a possibility. I'm not going to say it's unlikely. But bottom line is, it's going to be the Warriors again. I hate going back there.
Are the Thunder one of the top 3 teams in the West? Not based on record. I just mean, are they one of the best 3?
Yes. No, debatable.
All right. What other game? What other games do you want to talk about?
We got a lot of games.
How about the Spurs dismantling the Sixers?
That's what I was going to talk about. 123-96. The very talented Spurs team,
they're
Sixers
getting better.
Team.
They've been playing a lot better.
The Spurs, they had 3 players with 21 points. Marcus Aldridge, DeMar DeRozan, and Rudy Gay had the most points, 21 points that game. And you're looking at it like Jimmy Butler had one of his worst games as a Sixer by far. 30 minutes, only with 6 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 of 13 from the field. That is not what they asked for when they traded for him. But again, they traded for legitimately nothing.
This team is interesting, the Sixers, because they have 3 good players. Embiid, Simmons, and Butler. They have other good players too, but those 3... I don't know if they're the right fit for each other, though. I'm not sure. I think this team, Ben Simmons being a liability shooting the basketball, that might really haunt them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a big win by the Spurs. They've had a couple of these wins lately. They're playing better. They're over 500 for the first time since I believe like the second week of the season. They've been struggling badly, but yeah, maybe Popovich has kind of found the right formula now.
Well, we all knew that was going to happen eventually because that's how good Popovich is as a coach.
They played their whole team last night, which is crazy.
There was a lot of guys that played minutes. Like, you look at the box score and all that and the stat line.
They played 13.
Yeah, that's insane. That's usually some people play like 8 or 9, maybe, but 13? That is truly impressive.
I guess that's what happens in blowout wins.
Yeah, true.
You kind of empty out the bench, right? Everybody kind of plays like 4 or 5
give
minutes.
everyone opportunities.
What about Trailblazers? They got a big win last night.
Yeah. What was the score of that game?
131-127 over the Clippers.
Probably the highest scoring game of the day. And the Blazers really show that they are not a team to be trifled with, as Damian Lillard with 39 points. And there was rumors of people saying maybe it's time to trade him. And he kind of proved that he is not tradable, as he carried this team to a victory. There was also Harris on the Clippers sideline that got 39 points as well, with 11 rebounds to boot. So is this troublesome for the Clippers, do you think, since they used to be on top of the West and now are kind of sliding back? Is this something to be concerned about? Or
I think we can all agree that they were playing well above what anybody expected them to be playing at. Now they've lost 4 in a row. The Blazers have won 2 in a row now, but the Clippers are 3-7 in their last 10. So I actually would be concerned because you asked me about Memphis. Memphis, I think, has struggled a little bit, but the Clippers are showing more of a pattern. They're showing this has been going on for a while now. And, I'm concerned about them just because I didn't have high expectations for them, and now they're kind of faltering a little bit. I could see them tumbling out of the playoffs, to be quite honest with you. I know right now they're still in a good spot. They're 17-13. They'd be the 6th seed if the playoffs started today, but again, there's a couple teams sitting right outside the top 8 in the West that are just ready to jump in at any given day, and it'll change constantly throughout the rest of the year.
The West is for anyone's to take at this moment, don't you? I think that's obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is this obviously the West is going to be changing every single week, every single day maybe, and the bottom line is we're going to see this whole Western Conference is going to change by the time the 82 games is over with.
Mm-hmm. Suns got a win last night.
Yes, they did. Wow, that's just what are the odds of that happening, right?
7 out of 31. That's their odds.
Well, they've won their 7th game.
Out of 31.
Yes, they're 24 losses. They beat the New York Knicks, which is nothing to write home about.
James Booker
Dolan.
with
38 points.
James Dolan owned New York Knicks.
I don't think he's leaving anytime soon. I don't think anyone's going to offer him that. I don't think anyone wants to pay him that much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They say that the Knicks franchise is valued at like $3.5 billion, so it would probably take like $4.5 billion to buy it from him. Probably more.
He probably wants double, so probably 6. He says bona fide offer, quoting him, which sounds to me like he wants double. Doesn't it?
Do you even feel like this is a story? Like, a part of me doesn't even think like...
I think he just wants some attention.
Like, is it him, though, or is it the journalist? Because I would say it's probably just a journalist stirring up
maybe it's both.
A story.
Maybe it's a collaboration.
I don't know. It seems like the team is not for sale whatsoever, and isn't any team, any franchise up for sale for a bona fide offer? I mean, isn't that kind of like saying like what kind of vehicle do you drive?
Honda Ridgeline 2019.
Right, and you like it, right?
Yeah, I love it.
But like, if somebody gave you like $100K for it, you'd love it more on somebody else's property, and you'd keep the $100K, right?
Yeah, I would take that. That's
what I mean?
Over double what I paid.
Like, so like
that's triple what I paid.
So like when somebody says, Jeff, like,
I only got that as a congratulations you graduated thing. But I had to earn that.
But if somebody was like, hey, is your truck for sale? And you'd say no, but if somebody gave me like an incredible offer, then I
would tell them depends.
Right, so like that's why I kind of feel like this isn't even a story about James Dolan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of course his team is for sale if somebody comes in with $10 billion. Like,
yeah,
even the Dallas Cowboys would be for sale, right? Like, I don't know. It just seems like it seems like a weird story, and I think it's more.
It seems
the
like
fact
it's an obvious conversation type of thing. Is that
yeah, because like. It's because it's James Dolan and it's the Knicks. Like, he's been wildly unsuccessful as a owner of this team. So it's like, I think it's just something to draw up some conversation between Knicks fans. Because if you're a Knicks fan, what Knicks fan doesn't want to hear that the team may or may not be for sale? Mm-hmm. Like, if you're a Knicks fan and you see a story, the team James Dolan might be selling the team. Like, you're already like interested. Like, please let this be true, right?
Yeah.
So. I don't know, man. It just seems kind of weird. The Knicks, though, their only hope this year is that they are able to acquire 1 or 2 stars, right? Like,
yeah,
this team is going nowhere fast. When's Porzingis going to play? That's a real question. They say like in January, I think.
Yeah, probably. It's probably
this team is like, how are you the Knicks and you have this many unwatchable NBA players? That's what I want to know.
It's easy. You're the
is it
the how the Knicks
they just
have
can't.
been for
Why
so
can't
long.
they attract like big players, like names? Their biggest free agent signing the last couple of years is Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah,
the son of a legendary basketball
That's not
player.
a lot, is it? That's not impressive.
They got Super Mario last year.
That's a good one.
That's his nickname, Mario Hazonia. So, yeah, I don't know. The Suns get a rare win. Devin Booker. Do you know that Devin Booker is on pace to be only the 9th player in NBA history to average over 24 points through the age of 22?
I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Yeah, from when he was starting in the NBA until through 22 to average 24 points. Do you feel bad for Devin Booker that he's stuck in Phoenix?
A little bit, because he's so talented and he's probably one of the best, if not the best player, around the area.
Do you think that he'll actually demand a trade at some point?
Probably. He says he wants to build a super team in Phoenix, which is not going to happen, in my opinion. I don't see it happening, at least.
Do you think that this team would be better right now if they had a Luka Doncic and not DeAndre Ayton? Because we've seen what Luka's been able to do with the Dallas Mavericks.
See, I don't know. I think the Mavericks were a little ahead of the Suns. You know what I mean?
You think so?
I think so.
If you look at the rosters, though, coming into the year, I don't necessarily agree with that. I mean, who are the Mavericks' best players? Doncic, Barnes, and DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, but I think it's more along the lines of maybe it's just coaching as well. Maybe it's locate. I really can't explain it, but the Suns are just not destined to be good right now. I think that's just how I can't explain it other than that.
It's written.
Just it's really hard to explain, isn't it? Just like it's one of those life's unanswerable questions.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with this Suns team, they have all the talent in the world. There's something there that's not working, obviously.
Yeah, I think Ayton's a nice player, but man, it's starting to look like Luka should have been the number 1 pick, maybe.
Well, you can always say that, but the thing with that is you don't even know what's going to happen. You never know what you don't. That's just how
I got to ask you this
works.
right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you could do the draft over again and you're the Suns, do you take somebody else? Like from what you know now, because you didn't know
what I know now.
Yeah, what you know now. Well, you've seen Luka, you've seen Ayton, you've seen Bagley, you've seen Trae Young, you've seen Jaren Jackson Jr., etc., etc. What you know now, if you're the Suns and you have the number 1 pick today, are you still taking DeAndre Ayton?
No.
Who would you take?
Doncic, man.
Yeah.
I don't. He's been playing the best out of everybody.
But Ayton, you make a point. Ayton could have the best career. Hey, do you remember who won Rookie of the year Steph Curry was in the league? Was a rookie?
Well, I don't think anyone expected him to be amazing.
But do you remember who was the
number 1 pick?
The Rookie of the Year? No.
Rookie of the Year during his era?
When Steph Curry was a rookie.
See, that's 2009?
I'm trying to remember, but
You have it up?
No, I know who it is.
Oh, what year was it? 2009, 2008?
2009, 2010.
Blake
maybe?
Griffin?
No, it was a different year.
Anthony Davis? I don't know.
The year that Steph Curry was drafted.
Wait. Was that the Tyreek Evans year?
Yes.
So Tyreek Evans.
Tyreek Evans was Rookie of the Year, and Steph Curry ended up being the much better basketball player because Tyreek Evans will not be a Hall of Famer, and Curry will be. So sometimes you can have the best start, but not have the best career.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to figure that will happen with Doncic, though. Like, I don't think he'll be a Tyreek Evans because the fact is Luka can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Evans had a 25-5 season. Do you remember that?
Yes, he was the fourth rookie in NBA history to do that.
25-5. Isn't that crazy? And that was the best year of his career.
And
people figured him out.
I don't even know what team he's on right now.
He's on Indiana.
See, that's new information to me.
He's on Indiana. He plays a lot with them.
But he's coming off the bench, huh?
I think he has started because Oladipo was hurt, but he's essentially like a sixth man.
But that's pretty remarkable, all things considered.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How crazy how things work out, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
I mean, who was the rookie of the year during, like, James Harden's draft? Like, that was was that the same draft? No.
You'd have to look that up. I have no idea.
I'm now so super curious.
You can look that up, and we'll head to a break. And when we come back, we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the Ariza Ariza and Kelly Oubre trade. But before that, I want to talk to you about a special offer that I have for you, and it's with Audible. So anyone who likes audiobooks, I don't know, fitness programs, I have a 30-day free trial for you. There's no better place to listen than with Audible. Get your first audiobook free along with 2 selected Audible original titles and exclusive fitness programs when you start your 30-day trial. So take the time to listen on Audible. Just visit audible.com/GSMC book or text GSMC book to 500-500 to get started today. You should go ahead and do that ASAP. Again, go to audible.com/GSMC book, or you can text that code GSMC book to 500-500.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington Times.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We just finished talking about the roundup of the NBA that had games that happened yesterday. Now we're moving on to a big trade that's happened that was not canceled.
Would you call it a big trade?
Well, it wasn't canceled, so I call it a big trade.
It was canceled the first time, though, right?
Yes, because there was a bit of a mix-up.
A little snafu.
What was that mix-up?
The wrong Brooks was involved in the trade. And because of the wrong Brooks, it actually stopped the trade entirely, and Memphis dropped out of this trade. The Lakers, weren't they involved too? I don't remember, but either way.
No, they avoided the Lakers. They refused to have the Lakers in the
That's
trade.
Right. But the official trade is Trevor Ariza has gone from Phoenix to Washington. Pretty much the first day that he was eligible to be traded because he signed as a free agent. So he had to wait until December 15th. And he has been traded to the Wizards, and the Wizards in return have sent Kelly Oubre and Austin Rivers to the Suns. And Austin Rivers, we have now learned, has been waived by the Suns. So they'll pay him, and now he is free to go join any team. I guess not any team because he can't go back to the Wizards, but pretty much any team other than them. Now, who wins this trade? Who won this trade? Who lost this trade?
Neither of them won or lost it. It just happened. I can't really explain it other than that. There's no draft picks. There's just some players movement around. There's no outcome where this team benefits from it or loses from this. It just happened.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think anyone really won this trade, but I think the Wizards lost this trade because they gave up the younger player with more upside with team control, and they inherited an older player who's good. He's probably better. Ariza's probably better than Oubre, but Oubre's younger, has more upside, and Ariza's going to be a free agent. So they just gave up a young player for a rental to what? To make the 8th seed in the East? Like, I don't really see the long-term goal here.
I don't know what this is either. Maybe it's a statement.
Like, Oubre was a restricted free agent, so, like, yeah, he could have left, but, like, they would have had first crack at keeping him.
Honestly, I do not know. I don't have any comment about it. It just happened. There was no, like, wow, what a trade. This benefits that team totally. No, that's not what happened. That's just a trade. Like, this is just a trade to make a trade because the Lakers wanted him so bad. They're like, no, you know what? If someone else wants him, we're going to take the next offer. You know what I mean?
No, I got to ask.
It felt more like a statement move to stick it to L.A. than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. This trade is so underwhelming to me. And why does it feel like the Wizards took the first trade offer that was
because they knew
the Wizards. No, the Wizards. Why did it feel like they just, if they wanted to trade Oubre so bad, I feel like they could have got more. I really do.
Maybe even like a second round pick.
I feel like they could have got something more. Honestly, I don't know what. But like a rental, they got a rental small forward. Like it was like a giveaway almost.
This is a pointless trade in my opinion.
But for Austin Rivers, where do you see him landing now? Because I mean,
he's got waived. He did get waived.
Yeah, so he can pretty much go where he wants. What team do you see? Any teams in particular that would be interested in adding him?
The Clippers because of his daddy.
I was like the first thing that I thought of.
Really? I knew they got rid of him, but
because it's easy to say that.
It's super easy.
But they drafted 2 point guards. Like,
yeah, there's no way he's going there. To be honest with you.
So let's be real for a minute. Where do you kind of see? I don't know what makes sense for him.
What team needs a point guard? Maybe a backup in Golden State.
No, they got Livingston. I would say Orlando makes a lot of sense. Orlando's in 8th right now. They have a need, and he's from Orlando. He grew up there. His mom lives there.
Maybe.
So I could see. I think a team in the East.
I can even see it. OKC, maybe, possibly.
Yeah, but they have Schroeder behind. Like, he's better.
I mean, it's always nice to have another one.
Yeah, but if you're him, why would you go there if you're not going to play? You know what I mean? Like, you want to. You want to be a difference maker. So like,
he's not going to be a difference maker though.
I mean, you want the opportunity to play. Is what I'm saying. Like, you want to play 20 minutes a night, right? Like, you want to play. Even if you're a backup. I don't know, man. Like, maybe Utah will kick the tires on them. Like, they got Rubio.
Yeah, maybe.
As a backup.
Memphis, maybe. I don't know. Since Conley's injured, maybe have someone else back up.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see an Eastern Conference team for sure. But
yeah,
I would say Orlando is the best fit for him. I am assuming that, though. So, with that being said, how dumb was it, though, that the first trade was initially canceled because teams involved
didn't get the names right?
Like, when I read that tweet from Adrian Wojnarowski, I literally read it as these GMs were involved in a group text. Like that, like it was like me and my friends texting each other, like, "Hey, we're gonna go to this place." No, not that place. You know, like, did they talk on the phone? Like, how did they get the names wrong? You know, yeah, they have the same last name.
I'm gonna believe it was an autocorrect text.
Maybe.
That's the best I can think of.
They just didn't specify, right? Like, oh, we'll give you Brooks. And then one team was like, ha, we gotcha. We gave you the Brooks that we didn't want to give you, you know? Like, we gave you the Brooks that you didn't want, you know? Yeah. And is Dylan Brooks and Marshawn Brooks difference makers enough to ruin a whole trade because one of them was switched for the other? Like, are they...
They were really offended. Like, that's not the guy we wanted.
Like, we're not sure about Marshawn, but Dylan, man, he's definitely going to be the dude. Like, he's going to be the next NBA star. I can't explain anything about. I'm so confused about it myself still.
But it's just like, this is like when you text someone the wrong number and you're like, oh, let me just do this again. It just felt wrong. Like everything just felt off. The trade happened. I got that interesting trade on my phone, and then I got a notification maybe not even 5 minutes later saying it was canceled. And I remembered laughing out loud, and my dad was like, what are you laughing about? And I went, owner's being stupid. And I have something for my show.
You know what sucks in this trade? Kelly Oubre Jr. was going to Memphis, and now he's going to Phoenix. Like, in the original trade, he was going to Memphis, and he's like, man, I get to go from this dysfunctional team to a possible playoff team, like a winning team that plays in the West. Oh, I'm actually going to Phoenix. Great. 7-win team. Fun. Can't wait to be there. When do we start?
Yeah, it was... It's pretty demoralizing, for sure, for a guy to go from, oh, I'm going to a winning team, to I'm going to the worst team in the NBA Western Conference and arguably the whole league.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, all right. Any things that you want to add on this trade at all before we go to a break?
It was pointless and not newsworthy. But you know what is newsworthy is, listening to audiobooks. Mm-hmm. And what would it look like if we all listened more? Listening to audiobooks inspires us, motivates us, even brings us to closer. And there's no better place to listen than Audible. Audible has the largest selection of audiobooks on the planet. And now, Audible members get more than ever before. Each month, they get 3 titles of their choice. 1 audiobook, 2 Audible originals, and fitness programs that they can't get anywhere else. There's never been a better time to experience Audible. Try it free for 30 days by visiting audible.com/GSMCbook or by texting the code GSMCbook to 500500. Once again, if you want to get this deal, this 30-day free trial, you visit audible.com/GSMCbook or text the code GSMCbook to 500500.
What happens to your decision-making when you drink? Well, after one drink, you feel confident. A few more, and calling your ex at 1 a.m. seems like a great idea. And you're pretty sure the secret to a great taco is 4-day-old macaroni. The bottom line, drunk you doesn't make great decisions. So you're risking a DUI or worse if you count on him to get you home. Plan before you party. Get home safe. Brought to you by Washington Target.
Welcome back to the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We just finished talking about the weirdest trade in NBA today so far. That's probably the weirdest trade that happened this season. Mm-hmm. Now we're moving on to the Houston Rockets. And I have to say one thing before we get into the game, before we get into the winning streak the Houston Rockets have. How did the refs miss the most obvious travel call I believe I've ever seen in the last 5 years?
Looked like a nice step back to me.
He stepped back like he was doing the 2-step.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible. He jumped twice like he was a bunny, and they didn't call it. And as he's shooting the 3, he gets grazed by Rubio and complains to the ref he was fouled.
Mm-hmm.
Are you kidding me? How can you be that clueless that you traveled and then you complain you didn't get called for a foul at the 3 line? Who do you think you are, James Harden? You can get away with a travel.
He's the beard.
I also have a problem with the referees. How do you miss that call? How do you been missing travel calls since 2000 is my question. There have been travel calls after non-travel calls after non-travel calls when the guy clearly walks. Lonzo Ball went on a breakaway and clearly walked 6 steps before he went for the dunk.
Because we want to see points.
That doesn't matter. You got to enforce the rules.
No, man. We want to see points. That's why so many BS fouls are
have
called.
you seen when a guy like does?
That's why you can't defend anymore.
Have you seen when a guy gets the ball and he does this like weird pivot move in his pivot foot moves and he goes like 3, 4, 5 feet the other way and somehow they don't call he didn't slide over there?
I've seen it.
Shaq to the Fool calls so many travels, and no ref is man enough to admit their mistakes. And if they heard me right now, they'd probably give me a technical, and I would say, you can't give me a technical. We're not playing an NBA game, you nut job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I have to say. I don't like the NBA refs right now because they're making these terrible, terrible calls that are so obvious it hurts. And you're giving it, and then you're not even giving it to like all the most popular players. You're doing it for everybody. You're missing these obvious travel calls that lead to obvious, and then they lead to no calls that should be fouls or something else in between. And it's mind-boggling. It really is mind-boggling how refs miss these obvious calls in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And no wonder people have accused referees of calling games with favoritism and trying to move a game into like a 7-game series or something like that, or trying to rig a game. Because this happens so often that it's like the 2016 NBA Championship, NBA Finals matchup, when Stephen Curry got ejected from the game and all that stuff. People thought they were cheating also. People thought they were rigging the game. Referees have been accused of rigging NBA games for as long as I can remember, and that's not good reputation for NBA referees to have. You should be not even talked about in games, but you are. And when the most popular chant in the NBA is "These refs suck" or "Ref, you suck,"
ref, you suck.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite chant at the game.
And you got to know you're doing something wrong.
That chant is, I think, an average of 2.4 times said by the home fans every game.
Every game, yeah.
Yeah, on average, 2.4.
That shouldn't happen.
That's an unofficial stat, by the way, so don't quote me.
Yeah.
I liked Harden's response, though, where he said that he didn't deny that he traveled, but he said he's not ever going to tell on himself, and I thought that was kind of funny.
So he basically admitted it.
He said, yeah, what do you want me to say, tell on myself?
Yeah, be a man about it.
I mean, I don't know. What about the Rockets, though, and their win streak? Are they on the up and up now? Are they back?
Well, we expected them to have this little comeback, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Did you expect it?
I did.
Mm-hmm. I think so. I think we're on to something here. So, let's see. The Rockets, though, it's hard to say for me, though, even with their nice little run right now, like, it's hard for me to say that they're a playoff team, even though we both had the great high expectations for them before the season started, but they're now only a half of game out of the playoffs, Jeff. The Rockets. A half game.
Well, didn't we...
And guess what? They play a full game every night, or every time they play. So, if they win their next game, they could absolutely jump into the top 8.
Yeah, and like we said, the Western Conference can change at a moment's notice, and it will change at a moment's notice. So, that's just how it works.
So, these are the games that they've won on their 4-game win streak. They beat the Blazers 111-104. They beat the Lakers 126-111. They beat the Grizzlies 105-97, and they beat the Jazz 102-97.
Mm-hmm.
So they've been winning games, so they've been scoring points, but it looks like their defense has improved. They've given up only over 104 points once in their last 4 games. That was to the Lakers. And their average was they were giving up 115 a game. So it looks like their defense might be back, although they did play the Jazz and the Grizzlies, who aren't basically known as the best offensive teams in the league. So maybe that's a little bit yet to be determined. But we can say, Jeff, that their defense has obviously stepped up and is probably the biggest reason why they've won 4 in a row.
Yeah. And 4 in a row is an impressive win streak in the NBA, especially in the Western Conference. And they prove that they are a very good team, and without Carmelo Anthony, of course. So it's nice to see.
They do have a back-to-back and a 3-4 coming up.
Their streak will end soon. But it's not their fault. It's just the schedule.
Well, they host the Wizards tomorrow, and then they actually play at Miami the following night. But then they're back home and they host the Spurs. But that's their 3 and 4 that's coming up, and we all know that 3 and 4s are really difficult. In fact, I was going to talk about that in the next segment, but we might as well just talk about it right now. Like, do you think that the NBA needs to get rid of the schedule? I know they tried to change the schedule a little bit. They extended the season by a week, but like some teams have 14, 15 back-to-back. Some teams have 10, 11, 3 and 4 nights. Like, come on. It seems like it's too much, right?
Yeah, it does. It seems over the top. And basically, it's just when you do these back-to-back games, you're putting at risk the injuries of these players, of these big-time starters. And, yeah, of course, some coaches say, we're not going to start you because we want you healthy. And that's okay. Because playing 4 games in a row should not be required. That puts too much pressure on the body. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It just causes too many injuries, and it causes too much problems.
I would like to see that changed. I just think it's for the fans, right? Like, let's just be selfish for a minute. We're fans, right? We're not players.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we want to see when we turn on a game, on an NBA game, don't we all want to see, or if we go to a game or we pay to go to a game, we want to see the best players play, right? Like, we don't want to see them, if they're hurt, that's one thing, but we don't want to see players get the night off because they're tired or they're trying to rest management, right? We understand why the coaches do it, right?
Yeah.
We understand why teams are thinking long-term and they don't care about what Hawks fans think of Steph Curry missing tonight's game, right?
But the fans do.
But the fans lose, right? The fans lose.
The fans pay their money to see Stephen Curry play against their hometown team, whatever it is, Houston or whatever.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't play, they're cheating the fans.
I don't think, like...
But
I'm not saying to get rid of back-to-backs or the 3 nights and 4, because that's where it really is. It used to be that NBA fans talked about the back-to-back, but we're seeing more data about the 3 and 4. It's the 3 and 4 that third game is where a lot of injuries can happen. And we know this. Like, there's science out there. There's facts that show it makes more sense for players to rest rather than overexert themselves and suffer an injury or fatigue down the season. I mean... An argument can be said, speaking of fatigue, an argument can be said that LeBron James really tired out last year. And he did, but he played every game, you know? If he could do it all over again, would he have missed 8 or 9 games? Probably. Probably would have.
Yeah.
But as fans, we lose because let's say you're a fan of the Atlanta Hawks and the Warriors come into town once a year. You want to see Curry play. You want to see KD. You want to see Clay. And imagine buying tickets to the game, Jeff, and then, out tonight due to rest. Curry, Durant, Klay Thompson. Like, you'd be upset, right?
You'd feel like you've been cheated.
Yeah, imagine if you bought those tickets for your kid who's 7 years old and loves Steph Curry, and it's the one time a year you could see him. Now, if that player's hurt, that's a different story, right? Like, that's totally different. But
yeah, I agree.
The fans lose, man, and I just think that more can be done. And if you extend the season by 2 weeks, I'm not even saying reduce the number of games. I know some people say that. Keep the games the same. Just extend the season. Stretch it out a little bit further. And people get mad about playoffs. So here's the thing. I don't like how long the playoffs are in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like it takes so long for the playoffs to start and end, right?
Yeah.
But why doesn't it seem like the season is like the same? Like, they stretch out the playoffs really far, so stretch out the season 1 or 2 weeks, you know? That's what I think.
I don't know. I can't tell you. It's a different time, I guess. I can't explain it other than that.
All right, what do you say we take a break?
Sure, we can take a break. When we get back, we'll talk about other news and quirks and tips and tricks about the NBA or any other basketball news.
Check out the show built around the women of MMA. From the UFC to the extreme cage fighting, we got the fights covered.
Listen.
It's the Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast. The latest news of upcoming fights, discussions of previous matches. Join us as we talk to and about the biggest names in women's mixed martial arts, past, present, and future. When it's the women's fight game, you know where to listen to. The Golden State Media Concepts Women's MMA Podcast.
Welcome back to the final segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We're going to be talking about Luka Doncic for a little bit because Dave Yeager was talking to the media, national media, about him after the Sacramento Kings defeated the Dallas Mavericks. And he was asked what's his ceiling and what's his potential. Yeager even said, I don't see his ceiling, which is a huge compliment coming from a head coach.
He did, and it was misconstrued or at least taken differently by the national media as like a shot. Like maybe he was either taking a shot at management or taking a shot at Marvin Bagley. So then he goes on record last night and clarifies his comments saying that he loves Marvin Bagley and that he thinks that Marvin Bagley and De'Aaron Fox will be there, Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. What do you think about that?
That's an interesting standpoint. Well, the thing is, media has always tries to flip a story, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I think they're trying to make something out of nothing, personally.
What do you think about his comments, though, about, I know that he was, like, talking good about his guys, but him saying that KD and and Westbrook, that he sees that in Fox and in Bagley. What do you think about that?
I don't know about that. That's a little much. Don't you think?
I would say so.
Come on now.
But he's just backing up his team. You
Yeah.
know what he means. He's not like actually saying that. He's just saying like, I'm really happy with.
No. I'm saying the media kind of egged him on to say that, though.
Oh yeah.
That's what I was saying. Come on now about like, what is he supposed to say? My team sucks.
My team sucks.
Yeah.
I hate our front office. I can't wait till they fire me.
Rana Dive is the worst. Vlade Divac doesn't even deserve to be a coach or a GM. Excuse me. And are you sure he's going to say that?
He could. I mean, it would be good entertainment, right?
Maybe. I don't know. But that's just...
What was your take about Durant being all, I don't know, giddy about De'Aaron Fox and Dave Yeager on the Bill Simmons podcast? What did you think about that?
The Bill Simmons podcast.
The ring, yeah.
Good times, right? I guess. I don't know.
What did you think about his comments, though?
It's him just riling some people up, I guess. That's the best I can describe it.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's always when you
like
think...
It was weird that they started talking about the Kings like that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was...
And he was like... Kevin Durant was like really... I would say even gushing over them.
He was, but what I mean like riling up is like... The guy in the background is mainly who I was talking about.
Oh.
It's just still a lottery pick. And they're like, no, what are you talking about? Like, they were trying to just...
I mean, they might be. They might be a lottery pick, for sure.
Well, they can't get a lottery pick this year. We go to the Celtics.
Well,
but
I mean, yeah, they could be a lottery team.
Yeah, but what I'm was trying to say is, like, that guy in the background was, like, trying not to believe that they were good. Like, people still believe that the Kings are still the Sacramento Kings. You know what I mean? They're still bad. But I don't know. I see a lot of potential. Stephen A. Smith saw a lot of potential in De'Aaron Fox. He's like, maybe the Lakers should have drafted De'Aaron Fox over Lonzo Ball, which, sounds like it's a good deal at the moment. But, I don't know. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, anyways, What else is going on? Oh, you want to talk about the Nuggets?
Yes, the 20-9 Nuggets. I wanted to ask you a very important question. Do you think this team can stay in the top 3 in the Western Conference by season's end?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
I hope so too.
They have the defense. They have a deep roster. I see it happening.
The classic defense wins championships. I think that can go saying that is going to be what gets them over the top, is that this defense is something special and that it's not being respected, and it will be respected come the 82nd game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope I'm right. I hope we're both right when it comes down to it. And bottom line, the Nuggets are the real deal. I have to say it. Nuggets are the real deal. You hate to
say it?
No, I have to say it.
Oh, I thought you said you hate. My bad.
The Nuggets are the real deal. And some people don't buy it because
I would say
the
that
Denver Nuggets... Oh, continue.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I would say that the Nuggets have a better chance of sustaining their success than the Thunder do.
Mm-hmm.
Because, A, I think Denver is deeper, and B, I think the Thunder... just feel like the way that Russell Westbrook plays, that there's always an opportunity of him getting banged up. Like, maybe not injured, or he's missing a ton of time, but like, I just feel like he taxes his body a lot. Like, the way he plays is very physically taxing, and it's like, I always wonder, like, can this guy do this, like, in February, March, April? You know what I mean? Like
May, June, July, August, September, October,
Denver's
November,
not as
December.
volatile. Like, they have multiple players that are good. They have multiple players that can defend. If they get one guy that gets hurt, although maybe not Jokic, he might be the guy that they really need to stay healthy. But other than that, like, they're a well-rounded basketball team that I feel like can adjust and do things on the fly, even if certain guys aren't playing that given night or in that given week or two. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Anything else you want to add?
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Please tune us in on Thursday. We will have a lot more to talk about because more games will happen. And maybe the Western Conference seeding will change. Probably it will. What do you think? Probably?
Oh, yeah. 2 days, it'll probably change 4 times.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you Thursday.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Basketball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.